midnight show. Ice machine coughing down the hall real low. Motel Bible crooked in the drawer half shut. Plastic flowers by the sink, dust on the cut. My boots by the door, still warm from the road. Duffel bag leaning like it's ready to explode. Gas station sign flickers just across the lane. Tired kid wiping at the same old stain. Diner coffee drifting through the broken seal. Neon drawing stripes on this steering wheel. I fold your letter on the blanket by my side. Read your lines about a house and a quiet life. You write, come back, we can start clean. No more secrets, no more nights, you're gone too long. But you don't see what rides behind me, or whose names light up when that old phone hums along. So I leave the key under the neon. Never slam the door when I disappear. I'm the man who moves before the trouble lands, keeps his shadow from the ones he holds dear. If I loved you any less, I'd stay and let it burn. Let the whole road crash straight through your home. But I love you like a lock safe code, so I leave the key under the neon and go alone. Marked with quiet turns, old pen bleeding where the paper's thin and burned. Tank half full and an exit circled twice. I know this route like a gambler knows the dice. Trucks roll past like a slow steel tide. Every engine rumble says it's time to ride. You think I'm running from us, but I'm out in front of what's coming through that door. If they knock and find you smiling, you'd pay for debts you never signed for. So when you that distance, don't mistake it for a man who's lost his nerve. It's me choosing open pavement over watching you get what I deserve. So I leave the key under the neon. Room still warm from where my body lay. bed pulls a blanket straight, wipes my number from your phone and drives away. If I loved you any softer, I'd stay and let it rot. Let the past crawl in and claim you as its own. But I love you like a lock safe code, so I leave the key under the neon and ride alone. That lamb for me, yellow ring across this polished wood, cast stacked like low gray walls, where your restless hands once stood. You dropped tonight's envelope, grin like it's another crown. I turn the pages of the ledger while you pace and talk too loud. Blinds are drawn half open, narrow teeth, distant light. City hum behind the glass like it's listening to our night. Old brass key on my wrist chain, safe door waiting for my hand. You say you're done with waiting, now you want the whole command. We started with a folding table in a back hall down the stair. You brought in the rough and hungry, I made sure the books ran fair. Names were only few back then, ink was clean and lines were straight. No one knowed more than they carried, no one walked in full of hate. But power brings new signatures you can't wipe off with your sleeve. Men who never hear a warning, men who never plan to leave. You love engines and bright doorways, doors kicked open loud and wide. I love knowing what we promised and the cost of both our lives. You chase the roaring spotlight, I watch the numbers creep. One of us builds the legend, one of us decides to sleep. The lines in the legend that decide your fingers on the desktop like a man who smells a throne. Talk about a louder harvest, bigger teeth and sharper tone. I slide your share across the grain, folded once and facing down. Watch your eyes drift past the paper towards some other people's crowns. There's a drawer beside my knee that never needs to make a sound. Steel beneath the stack of folders if the wrong name comes around. I don't gesture, I don't threaten, that's not how I hold control. I just underline a figure when someone's digging their own hole. Paper doesn't bleed, it only holds the trail you make. Lawmen read these columns long before they see a blade or shake. If the beams begin to splinter and the floor starts giving in, these lines choose who finds a doorway and who pays for what's been done. I'm the lines in the ledger that decide who gets to stay. Every cut that keeps us breathing, every name I file away. You can be the face and thunder, you can toast another night, but I balance what you gamble when the hallway's out of sight. I'm the lines in the ledger, quiet guard behind your place, and I keep this house from falling if you learn to move my way. Green shade on the desk lamp throws a circle on the wood. Ledger open in the middle where the ink dries dark and good. Window glass, a black mirror full of shipping yard lights. You're pacing by the bookshelf while I total up your nights. On the corner sits a briefcase with the hinges polished thin. Safe door hums behind the panel like a low mechanical grin. Clock hand crossed toward midnight, second ticks like distant steel. Every move you're dreaming, kid, I've already had to feel. When you first stepped in this office, all sharp shoes and sharpened eyes, talking loud about the future, about cutting out the lies. I handed you a folder with the names and what they own. Showed you how a quiet promise weighs more than a borrowed throne. You learn fast where the money sleeps. sleeps where the softer ledges hide, but you still chase noisy victories. Want the city on your side. Keep the board in balance while you gamble with the flame. Every page I turn on you adds a shadow to your name. Paper never shakes, kid. Columns never look away. They remember every favor long after the faces fade. When there's red in the margin, someone's gotta pay. I'm the one who circles names and folds the night away. I don't shout, I don't threaten, I just balance what you earn. Turn the numbers into choices till the choices start to burn. You can dance for their attention, you can chase your little fame, but when there's red in the margin, I decide who keeps their name. Tonight your line runs closer to the edge than you can see. Marked up figures in the column where it should read clean 3. The motel trick you improvised, that deal you overplayed, sits here now as quiet interest with a cost you haven't paid. I tap the end of this fountain pen along your latest trail. See the pattern in your chaos, like the outline of a jail. You stop pacing when I close the book and lean back in my chair. I don't have to raise my voice to let you feel the weight of it. Just 'cause you like the way it sounds. Never trust a restless soldier, always staring at the crowns. Never bet the house on men who brag about the doors they've kicked. Never leave a debt in motion when the interest runs too quick. Keep your fingers off the glamour, keep your pulse inside the plan, 'cause the last line in this column writes the story of a man. When there's a red in the margin, there's a reckoning in the room. You can smell it in the silence, feel it hanging like perfume. I don't deal in empty warnings, I just mark where paths all turn, where the sum of all your comes to take what you have earned. You can play at being fearless, you can own the smoke and flame, lamp on the nightstand, buzzing like a tired fly. Room key on a plastic ring, numbers faded, half gone dry. Suitcase by the crooked chair, tags cut off and corners torn. Phone face down beside the Bible, both of them a little warm. Coffee cooling in a paper cup, curtain never fully closed. I write your name in one soft sentence, then erase every word I chose. Outside there's a diesel humming, parking lot of borrowed steel. Neon from the diner sign throws a circle on my wheel. They still call the other number when a quiet drive is worth the fee. That name never touched your bedroom, that name never reached your TV. Out here on these lonely exits, I'm a rumor with a fate. With you I was something cleaner, here I'm just a ghost that knows his place. I could turn this car around, take the road that leads you home, but the miles between our doorways keep you safe and keep me gone. I'm the man with two names, one I sign and one I hide. One belongs to midnight engines, one belongs by your bedside. I'm the shadow on the highway, I'm the knock that never came. You get morning on your window, I get rooms that look the same. If you're wondering why I left you, it was written in my veins. You deserve a single story. I'm the man with two names. I still see your kitchen doorway, bare feet on a quiet floor, leaning easy on the counter, asking back by dawn or more. I would kiss you without answers, taste the coffee on your breath, knowing every call I answered was a trade with someone's death. So I folded up that evening like a note you'll never read, left my jacket on the chair back, kept my secrets, took my keys. Men like me don't plant a garden, we just pay to cut the grass. We don't promise you a future, we just hope the storms roll past. What I haul inside this silence isn't weight you ought to feel, so I drive it through the darkness, trade my heart for all this steel. I'm the man with two names, one that pays and one that bleeds. One sits buried in the ledgers, one once knelt beside your knees. I'm the line between your laughter and the deals I can't explain. You keep pictures on your mantle, I keep numbers in my brain. If you ever curse my leaving, lay the blame on all these lanes. You deserve a clean beginning. I'm the man with two names. the squad room humming. Locker door still swings slow. Badge sleeps in the bottom drawer. Gun is clean and ready though. Coffee rings on folded papers. Names in ink that smudge and bleed. Some of them are bought protection. Some are people truly in need. Neon on the station window draws a crooked glowing crown. My reflection wears a tie, but there's a stripe that runs straight down. I walk under highway columns where the city hides its deals. My car cooling by the river, ticking like it knows the real. Phone lights up with quiet numbers from a man they'll never see. On my hip an empty holster, 'cause tonight it's only me. You would call it plain corruption. I call keeping balance right. Take from wolves to pay the restless, buy them one more softer night. Every line they draw in daylight, I redraw in alley light. Every oath I spoke in public grows a shadow late at night. I'm the man in between, with the law on my leash. Badge asleep where I can reach it if I need to look clean. I don't fit inside their stories, I don't shine in their reports. I'm the quiet, crooked compass when their maps all fall short. If you think it's black or white, you never walked where I've been. The city leans on men like me. I'm the man in between. Once I stopped a kid at midnight, busted taillights, shaking hands. Little sister in the backseat, clutching some worn out demands. Wrote a warning on my notebook, tore it loose and let him roll. 2 turns later, caught a whisper where a hitter missed his goal. Same badge, different kind of mercy. Same night, 2 colliding beats. I'm the sum of all those choices, not the whispers in the seas. I know somewhere there's a line I swore I'd never step across. I can feel it getting nearer every time I trade a loss. If it comes, I'll be the one who chooses which side I defend. Till that moment, I'm the hinge that keeps this door from giving in. I'm the man in between, when the truth comes dressed in grease. Got the sirens under silence, got the law on my leash. I decide who meets slips back in the stream. Every deal I make for others carves another mark in me. If you think you want this power, think of all that you'll not clean. The city leans on men like me. I'm the man in between.
Paper cup of bitter coffee, cooling by the window from the rain. Picking things around the block, and I was headed to lanes. Hopeless in an empty suit, walking by my light shoes. Before the boat is a lane, nothing ever not alone. I'm silent, so soon. Only my outline bedroom steals is one more life I want out on my own. Left you in that quiet kitchen, bare feet on the checkered tile. You were humming with the kettle, hair tied back in your old style. Wrote a note beside the sugar, 3 short lines I barely wrote. Didn't say which way I'm headed, only don't stay up to hope. In the drawer beneath the matches, there's a key and folded cash. All the words I couldn't speak are pressed between that paper stack. The city keeps a careful ledger, every favor, every scar. Men like me don't fade with age, we just get found beside a car. So I move before the bullet knows my name. I leave before the crosshairs learn my face. I'd rather be a ghost on distant trains than drag you through the heat of what I've made. I built a quiet throne on crooked games. Now I walk off while the table stays in place. I won't wait to hear the muzzle curse my veins. I move before the bullet knows my name. Hallway glass reflects a stranger, wearing all my practice calm. Same old watch around his wrist, same pale line across his palm. Deals were inked in stairwell corners, elevators held their breath. I've walked corridors where laughter shook the handle close to death. Every smile that bought my silence left a number on my door. Every knock that bought my violence stacked a weight I can't ignore. Call it running, call it wisdom, call it anything you need. I call it drawing one last border where the fire can't reach your street. If I stay, the circle tightens, someone angles for their mark. If I go, you'll curse my shadow, but you won't go down in dark. So I move before the bullet knows my name. I fade into pride in someone's fight. I'll trade the crown I never cared to claim for one clean line that keeps you out of aim. Let the city ride, it's ending out of sight. I move before the bullet knows my name.
There's an arm above the counter, coffee cooling by my hand. Crack red vinyl in this booth, like every small town where I've been. Gas pumps ticking in the distance, bugs around the open sign. You pull in with your engine, talking like a young dog on the line. New boots, jacket barely broken, hungry weather in your eyes. Map folded on the dashboard, all your roads still undefined. You don't know this quiet stranger with his back against the glass, but the road that you are staring down, boy, I've already passed. There's a milepost on this highway where the numbers start to fade. Paint is peeling off the metal, little bruises on the frame. That's the night I took a corner and I never went back home. Left the porch light burning yellow, traded wedding bands for chrome. Met some men who spoke in envelopes and nods instead of names. Learned to carry other people's trouble like my own short chains. Every job another exit, every room a different key. Every motel bathroom mirror asking what you plan to be. This road don't need a judge's gavel, it just counts what you expend. Every mile you push, your luck is one more you must defend. When you hit mile marker 13, that's the line men like me cross, where the restless and the willing trade their faces for the frost. I ride quiet through these counties, leave no footprint in the dust. I get paid to move in silence, I get paid because they trust. If you chase that kind of freedom, you won't drive back where you came. Mile marker 13 won't remember, but your soul will know its name. Your soul will know its name. You keep glancing at the doorway, like the dark is calling you. Like there's something on that asphalt only you can see straight through. You don't see the empty tables where my brothers used to sit. You don't feel the empty passenger side I've made my peace with. So I slide a folded bill out, pay my check and catch a ride. Say the map won't show the places where a man goes when he lies. You can chase that talking engine, you can learn to never stay, or you can turn before the marker and go home a different way. Never promise what you can't
when you hit mile marker 13, all your stories change their tone. Every quiet job in darkness puts more interest on your bones. I move quiet through the stations, through the motels and the rust. I get paid to keep it tidy. I get paid because they trust. If you want that kind of legend, you won't drive back where you came. Mile marker 13 won't remember, but your soul will know its name. Your soul will know its name.
You're leaning on the concrete, hands tucked in your coat, talking like you're ready for the weight around my throat. You say you want the phone calls when the brave ones step aside, to be the name they dial when they've got no place to hide. You like the way I'm posted where the echoes never reach, but you ain't seen the marks beneath the polish and the speech. There's a sedan in the corner with the engine ticking down, trunk still warm from back roads far outside this restless town. On the pillar by your shoulder, someone carved a crooked crown. Overhead the traffic rumbles like a far-off metal sound. You're asking for directions to the place where I've been living, but I paved that little kingdom with the sins I'm still not given. You think silence is a weapon you can hang around your neck. You don't feel the way it cuts when there's no one left to check. You don't want what the quiet men keep, all the names, all the nights that we never let speak. I'm the one that turns a handle while the rest just fall asleep. But you don't want what the quiet men keep. Every secret is a stone in a wall without a door. You stepping in with hunger, you step out, not you no more. I've folded motel towels with the sunrise in my face wiped a trail of muddy footprints from a lonely leaving place. Pulled tape off cardboard boxes in a storage under lights. Found a wallet, found a ring, slid them out of other sights. I know which bridge they favor when they're running out of time. I just drive the empty highway with their story under mine. I don't beg for any mercy, I don't chase this city's grace. I just keep my steering steady, keep my name in its own place. If you step across this line, kid, you won't ever really sleep. You'll be paid in steady breathing while the pictures still run deep. You don't want what the quiet men keep, all the calls after midnight when the concrete feels too deep. I'm the last one in the stairwell and the first to make it neat. But you don't want what the quiet men keep. Every promise is a weight, every favor hides a score. You think you're walking taller, you're just sweeping one floor more. Motel Bible in the drawer, remote with half the numbers gone, faded pattern on the carpet where a suitcase has been drawn, ice bucket sweating on the dresser, plastic cup still in their sleeve, motel key on the nightstand with a number I can't leave, your name folded on the napkin tucked inside my coat for years. Every time I almost call you, I just count my turning gears. They don't dial me for the talking, they don't call me for the show. I'm the one who parks in shadows when there's nowhere else to go. Coming after doors stop slamming, after voices lose their edge. Straighten frames and clear the surfaces, check each footprint, wipe the pledge. I don't ask about the story, I just measure what it costs. Make sure nothing points to no one when the whole room thinks it's lost. You live where the mail comes daily, where the neighbors know your name. I live where the curtains flutter to a late night exit flame. There's a line between our windows that no taxi ever crossed. I've been walking in circles, wearing souls on careful thoughts. I come after the noise when the shouting's dead and done. I'm the calm that wipes the edges, I'm the last unblinking one. I'm the ghost inside the hallway, I'm the lock they never see. I can leave a room like nothing, carry secrets out for free. Power's not in starting fire, just to prove you've got a voice.
It's in owning what you're cleaning when you come after the noise. Gas station sign across the highway, buzzing green above the pumps. Vending machine humming softly, casting squares of colored lumps. My duffel leaning by the mirror, zipper teeth all lined in place. One more bill inside the lining, one more nameless little case. Map folded in the glove box, line drawn out beyond this town. If I drive past where they know me, I don't plan on turning round. There are things I've left behind me no white towel could ever take. Fingerprints in people's memories, quiet promises I break. But the one file I've protected, left unwritten, clean and clear, is the life I never started in that small house where you sleep near. I come after the noise, but I'm tired of coming last. I've been erasing other stories just to outrun my own past. I'm the ghost inside the hallway, I'm the hand that kills a trace. But I can't wipe out your shadow from the lines around my face. Power's a night and staying nameless till you fade into the void. It's in driving towards your doorway, not just drifting after noise. Room key unlicensed, plastic tag with a faded 8. Curtains barely holding back the glow from the roadside gate. There's a paper cup of coffee cooling next to your short note suitcase by the dresser, folded bills inside my coat. I turn the deadbolt with my shoulder, let the silence settle in. Started talking to your memory in a message I won't send. They call me when it's broken, when the stain won't wash away, when the loud boys lose their courage and they need someone to stay. I don't ask too many questions, I don't need their hearts confess. I just follow quiet orders, put their trouble back to rest. You keep asking for a promise, for a door I won't walk through, but a man who stands too long here ends up underneath it too. Out there the fuel pump's ticking, highway breathing in the dark. mess is finally done, walk out down the humming hallway, calm before the rising sun. I'm the hand that wipes the table, I'm the boot that stops the slide. I fix what they can't live with, then I disappear outside. Your small kitchen, crooked chair and chipped white plates. How you laughed and topped my coffee while I talked of exit gates. You said one day you'll get tired of that suitcase by the door, but the only way I'm breathing is by always wanting more. There's a map spread on the bedsheet, heavy lines and dark blue pen. Every arrow leaves this highway, not a single one back in. If I ever cross that county line with no bag and no alarms, I'll come knocking like a stranger with these scarred but steady arms, till this last clean job is finished and my ledger's running clear. All I've got to send you, darling, is this voice low in your ear. So I leave the keys on the nightstand when the mess is finally done. Head out past the humming icebox, gone before the morning spun. I'm the ghost inside their trouble, I'm the calm before their slide. I fix what they can't live with, then I vanish with the tide. Yeah, leave the keys on the nightstand when they're loose ends all unwind. I'm the man that cleans their chaos, not the one who gets to stay behind.
Back room door half open, bar light cutting one long stripe. Empty glasses on the counter, end of shift and loosened tie. Badge face down beside a notebook, service piece still on my hip. Tie knot hanging like a question that I never quite let slip. You pour one more without me asking, set it quiet by my hand. I say, you know I keep this city, but I'm weighing who I am. Started small with little favors, looked away one quiet night. Pulled a kid out of a cell he'd never walk from in the light. Then a brown envelope in my locker, just a thank you, just a sign. Names that needed soft erasing, in the papers I'd still file on time. Soon the back booth by this counter held the cases off the books, where a handshake carried more control than 100 honest looks. They say it's bending, not quite breaking, just to keep the peace alive. But every rule I keep reshaping starts to call me from inside. I'm the line under my boots, not the law you think you know. I hold the leash on what gets loose and what I quietly let go. I keep the wolves off of your windows with the deals you'll never see. But every secret that I shoulder draws its circle tight on me. You see a badge across this bar, you see a hero in this suit. I see footprints in the dark and one thin line under my boots. Last week in a dim back hallway, buzzing lights and stained white tile, folder pressed against my chest like it was full of borrowed miles. Witness shaking in a stairwell, said a name I shouldn't hear, name that sits behind my shoulder when I drink my silence here. I can bury that confession, lose the page, misplace the file, or let the law run where it's written and burn 5 years of my style. There's a mirror in the stockroom where I straighten up this tie. Every crease and every wrinkle keeps the record of my lies. I don't beg for clean salvation, I don't bargain with the sky. I just weigh the way I'm walking against what I won't deny. I'm the line under my boots, not the saint they think they see. I keep the leash on different devils and they still report to me. I can hold this crooked balance, keep the street from open war. But I know each quiet compromise is another closing door. So when you raise that final glass and bless the badge across the room, know the law you think will save you hangs on one thin line under my boots. Close the door behind you, let the hallway hum just fade. Lay your jacket on that armchair, wipe your shoes across the grain. See this desk with all its corners, See this single shaded lamp. Every problem in this building ends up breathing where I am. There's a ledger by my elbow. There's a drawer that never speaks. You don't earn this kind of quiet without paying through the weeks. They don't call me for negotiation. That's the show before the show. I get summoned when the mark is set too deep to let it show. I've turned chaos into order with a rag and steady hands. I walked out of rooms at midnight where the floor forgot its plans. This big office and these cufflinks, they look clean from where you sit. But there's ink beneath the polish from the things I chose to fix. I see locks and think of blame. You hear deals and think of money. I hear footsteps, time and name. I'm the man who erases names when the story goes too far. I'm the shadow on the carpet. I'm the silence in the car. I decide what gets remembered and what never hits the fire. Every mercy I've been given cost me one more sleepless night. If you wanna walk beside me, understand the quiet pain. 'Cause the price of being needed is the weight of every name. Used to share this very chair. He could read a room in seconds, make a crooked deal look fair. One long night down near the loading bay, he crossed the wrong thin line. He mistook a stare for mercy, thought he still had borrowed time. By the morning on this paper, under cold and faded stains, there was one clean, careful entry where I never wrote his name. Don't confuse control with freedom, kid, they're not the same sharp blade. You can hold the whole room's breath and still be tied to what you made. I can vanish what they point to, I can straighten what they broke. But the hardest thing I've handled is the brother that I wrote. I'm the man who erases names when the river bends off course. I'm the calm hand on the folder that can redirect the force. I decide who walks the hallway and who disappears from sight. Every favor that I honor cuts a deeper line at night. If you think you want this office, think of all that you can't save. I'm the man who erases names, and I live with what I've graved.
Platform, last train gone, flicker in the station lights.
cold black coffee, footsteps echo through the night. Ticket folded in my pocket, jacket hanging off one arm, name tag crooked on my collar, gun still sleeping, metal warm. Like a key beside my lighter, worn down edges silver thin. There's a badge back in a drawer at home that doesn't fit my skin. Lines of yellow tape, I helped to draw a shade too late. Turned away from clean confessions when the wrong man held the weight. Shook hands inside dim back offices, closed the file, killed the lamp. Let one quiet wolf keep breathing, let the loud one take the stamp. Every favor bought me credit in a room that trades in fear. Now the mirror over my razor doesn't call me officer clear. There's a law they write on paper, there's the rule that lives in me. Every night they grow more distant, like two tracks that never meet. So I walk this line with a badge I buried alive, still wearing this suit like a story that barely survived. I'm the shadow in the hallway when the truth can't stand upright. I rewrite the final sentence, then I ride into the night. You can call me what you like, but when the weak still make it home, is the weight of what I've chosen that I carry on my own. Night train hums along the river, carriage rattles low and slow. Window showing me a stranger with my jaw from years ago. Overhead the tide light flickers, coat hooked on an empty seat. Folder locked inside my briefcase, names and dates in folded sheets. I could drop it on a desk and watch some bright careers ignite, or let sleeping pages linger, keep my kingdom out of sight. Every shortcut had a reason when this town turned off its face. Every crime scene hid a story that was easier erased. Now the hush inside this carriage sounds like boots in distant rain, walking back along the choices that I'll never clear again. So I walk this line with a badge I buried alive, half a witness, half a warden, to the things I let survive. I'm the silence in the stairwell when the deal goes down upstairs. I decide which truth gets spoken and which one just disappears. If you Blinds half closed above the sidewalks. All the noise turned into haze. Desk lamp pooling on this ledger, turning years into a phrase. There's a fountain pen still bleeding where your number meets your name. Safe door humming in the corner like it's guilty of the same. On the shelf a glass chessboard, kings and pawns and frozen rolls. Every piece you're moving out there, I already see where it goes. You're sitting in that leather, boots still tracking in the street. Think you're built to pure momentum, all adrenaline and heat. But the real weight in this building isn't locked behind the steel. It's the list of every promise and the price of every deal. There's a folder on this desktop with your face between the lines, and I'm the one who has to balance what you break and what you sign. You see money, I see pressure. You see glory, I see strain. You hear laughter from the back room. I count who remembers pain, 'cause I keep the books where the knives all live. Every line of quiet cuts you can't forgive. In this dark ledger, every debt has teeth. It walks right at your shoulder when you leave these streets. You can bluff this city, you can lie in your sleep, but the numbers and the names, the ledger never sleeps. There was one kid came before you, same sharp grin and restless eyes. Thought he'd bend the code around him, thought he'd never pay the price. I wrote warnings in the margins, drew a line beneath his tape. Watched his chair sit at the table while his calls came in too late. Now his file stays in my drawer, paper thin from being read. He's a lesson in the margins, not a name we ever said. I don't threaten, I don't shout, I just told her what you do. I can't wash a soul with numbers, but I'll show the bill to you. In this room you're not a legend, you're a balance yet to clear. And the man who learns that early is the one who stays right here. 'Cause I keep the books where your truth runs deep. Every debt you think is buried comes back up to speak. In this dark ledger, every mark you leave pulls a little of your daylight out of reach. You can charm this city, you can talk it to sleep, but the ink you give me tonight, the ledger never sleeps. Close the door behind you. Let the hallway hum just fade. Lay your jacket on that armchair. Wipe your shoes across the grain. See this desk with all its corners. See this single shaded lamp. Every problem in this building ends up breathing where I am. There's a ledger by my elbow. There's a drawer that never speaks. You don't earn this kind of quiet without paying through the weeks. They don't call me for negotiations. That's a show before the show. I get summoned when the mark is set too deep to let it show. I'll turn chaos into order with a rag and steady hands. I walked out of rooms at midnight where the floor forgot its plans. This big office and these cufflinks, they look clean from where you sit, but there's ink beneath the polish from the things I chose to fix. You see doors and think of entry. I see locks and think of blame. You hear deals and think of money. I hear footsteps, time and name. I'm the man who erases names when the story goes too far. I'm the shadow on the carpet. I'm the silence in the car. I decide what gets remembered and what never hits the file. Every mercy I've been given cost me one more sleepless mile. If you wanna walk beside me, understand the quiet pain, 'cause the price of being needed is the weight of every name. There was one man like a brother, used to share this very chair. He could read a room in seconds, make a crooked deal look fair. One long night down near the loading bay, he crossed the wrong thin line. He mistook a stare for mercy, thought he still had borrowed time. By the morning on this paper, under cold and faded stains, there was one clean, careful entry where I never wrote his name. Don't confuse control with freedom, kid. They're not the same sharp blade. Prison home in the hallway, porcelain pig tile floor, locker door hanging crooked, paint peeled around the corners of the door. I slide my badge into the drawer, let the metal kiss the wood, hang my coat on a rusted hook where the straight ones used to stood. Evidence boxes in the shadow, dust sleeping on each case. I can feel the city breathing through the pipes inside this place. Clock out with a steady hand, knotted faces heading home. But my shift don't end at midnight, it just moves into the unknown. Now I'm parked by the old stone bridge, river moving slow and black. Dashboard clock says 1:30. No patrols on this stretch of track. Phone screen glowing on the seat, your last message still unread, asking why I keep my world in pieces, why you never see the threads. I got a notebook on my knee, pen tapping in the dome light haze, trying to pull one honest sentence through these crooked working days. I write your name across the top, then cross it out with one hard stroke. Some things don't belong in rooms where every promise gets broke. I've worn a gun in both directions, walk long corridors of doubt, shook hands with men I should drag in and men I should drag out. This badge is just a mirror, it don't change the face it hides. All it does is buy me time to choose which wrong I'll let slide. So keep my badge in the drawer when the truth gets sold at night. Keep my word in the dark where the law runs out of light. I'm a line they never print on any paper that they sign. I'm the hand that cleans a mess when the rules get left behind. You keep reaching for my daylight like I'm something you can claim, but I'm holding back the part of me that would drag you in this game. Your small kitchen, light above the sink burned low, steam rising from a single cup, your bare feet on the floor so slow. You said one day you'll have to choose if you're coming all the way. I just kissed you in the doorway and I filed that line away. Now the glove box holds the folders stamped with names you'll never hear, deals that kept your street from burning, debts that keep my conscience near. I'm not proud of every favor, but I'll stand behind each call. Better they write me dirty than let the fire reach a wall. First day in a sharp new jacket, empty holster on my side, thought the world was black and white, I'll be walking on the right. Then I watched a decent man go down for telling what he knew. So I learned to keep my silence and let my choices speak it through. So I keep my badge in the drawer when the city starts to roar. Keep my deals in the alleys, keep my heart outside your door. I'm the line they can't erase when they need a quiet fix. I'm the shadow in the stairwell where the law and money mix. You keep asking for the whole man, like the past can just let go. But I'll love you from this river where you never have to know. Desk lamp pulls on the papers, all these numbers dressed in black. Midnight humming in the ceiling, blinds pulled tight against the glass. Ledger open like a courtroom, every page a quiet oath. Calculator ticking slowly, like it's weighing what we're both. You walk in all polished edges, perfect tie and easy grin, but the columns on my table say you're lighter than you've been. Safe door breeze in the corner, heavy metal in the dark. Folders stacked like little secrets, each one stamped with someone's mark. I trace transfers with a finger, feel the drift beneath the tide. Shell accounts and hidden pockets, where you thought you'd learn to hide. I was hired to keep the balance, make the dirt and gold align, not to watch a trusted brother skim the future off the line. Paper doesn't raise its voice, but it screams when some's turn wrong. A man becomes his choice, is written where the rose belongs. Black ink never lies for me, shows the ghost you swore you'd never be. I keep the books where gentlemen don't speak. You bent the code, now all your totals bleed. I'm calm, but every calm line has a break. Black ink never lies, it pins you down in ink. I've erased a dozen ledgers, burned a lifetime in a tray, turned whole nights into a silence that could keep the wolves at bay. But I never touched the figures when a brother crossed the floor. There's a line that feeds an empire and a line that feeds a war. Now your name sits in the margin, there's a circle round the take, and that old cold steady focus leaves you nowhere left to fake. You wanted crowns without the weight, wanted cuts without the scars, never lies, it just records the fear. Patrol car breathing idle by the railing near the stones. Radio light blinking like a pulse in tired bones. I kill the engine, pocket keys, let the night take back its sound. Boot soles on the river path, no one else is walking round. Badge tucked in my jacket, not shining like it did. Still heavy on my chest from every favor that I slid. There's an evidence box half empty on the back seat in the dark. One missing little notebook, one blurred camera mark. In my glove compartment there's a file that never hit the floor. Names and quiet numbers, folded bills that bought me more. I've dragged real monsters cuffed and breathing through the hallways humming lights. And I've let some devils drive off clean because they fed me bigger fights. Long paper draws a straight line. Streets don't ever run that way. So I learned to bend the middle, keep the wolves where I can play. There's a shadow on my badge, but it's mine to own. I still walk this city like I carved it out in stone. I'm the one that hears the sirens and decides what they will mean. I can turn a guilty whisper into something almost clean. You can call me what you want, from your window or your page. There's a shadow on my badge, but I'm still the one with the cage. Underneath this old stone bridge I met rats in tailored suits. Traded names for softer handcuffs, pulled their secrets up by roots. I've watched river water swallow what the reports don't ever show. Cold and patient like a ledger that remembers where you go. Every time I look down there, I see all the almost falls. Every time I walk back up, I still answer when it calls. I don't beg for any pardon, I don't hide from what I've done. I can count the lines I crossed, I remember everyone. If this city turns against me, I got roads they never traced. I'll be gone before the morning, leave my badge, not any trace. There's a shadow on my badge, but it fits my my face. I still wear it like a warning in this crooked little place. I'm the hinge between the courtroom and the street that never sleeps. I can drown a quiet secret or drag truth up from the deep. You can judge me from a distance, you can curse me from the stage. There's a shadow on my badge, but I'm still the one with the cage. On a cold platform, paint lines cracking under my heel. Overhead speaker mumbling in, they barely sound real. Paper cup of black coffee, cooling slow in my hand. Single suitcase by the bench, all that's left of what I am. Train lights stretch the shadow, silver rails drawn tight. One ticket in my pocket, one quiet way out tonight. I used to move numbers in back rooms no one saw. Sign my name on favor instead of on the law. You waited in a small apartment with a lamp turned low. Dinner getting colder while I lied about where I go. I kept you just outside the circle, close enough to feel the heat, but far enough that when doors lock, you weren't in that seat. Now the phones have too many ears, the walls too thin to trust. Too many hands on the table are hungry for the same dust. If I stay, they'll learn your name like they learned mine back then. And this city never lets go once it drags you in. So I'm taking the last train under my name, rolling out of this city like I'm wiping off a friend. I could stay and hold my corner, live crowned in quiet blame, but I'd pull you through the embers just to guard my claim. I'd rather vanish in the dark than see you tagged by my flame. So I'm riding this last train under my name. Now I'm in a narrow compartment, curtain drawn halfway. Your picture tucked in my wallet, edges soft and frayed. I write you words you'll never read on the back of this ticket stub, about the ledger in my chest and every stain I had to scrub. Neon from the outer ring of town flickers on the glass. Every light we're leaving feels like one more life I passed. If you ever hear late rail singing, know I kept my side of the deal. Walk the daylight streets in peace, forget how my nights used to feel. Tell yourself I was a story that you folded up with time. Let the quiet in your kitchen be the only thing that's mine. 'Cause I'm on the last train under my name, putting miles between your door and every shadow in my game. I could stay and call it love while I paint you in my shame, but I won't let this life mark you as part of what I became. I'll be a ghost between the stations, but you won't carry that blame. So I'm riding this last train under my name.
Backroom light is buzzing in an office built of stone. Photos leaning in the shadows, every secret kneeling on. Green lamp spills a tired circle on these numbers black and clean. Out there glasses clinking murmur, here I write what won't be seen. You ask why I'm still working when the night's already bled. I say someone has to total all the things that go unsaid. There was you and your right-hand man, you remember how he moves. He could clear a crowded doorway with one stare, no words to prove. You were always on the front line, he was always at your side. I was always in the back seat, watching where the current slide. When the bosses needed trimming, wanted names without a sound, it was lines across this paper that decided who stayed around. See these figures in the margins, every digit hides a face, every zero, every interest, every cut and every graze. I keep the balance in the dark, where the numbers never sleep. Every favor, every warning, every promise you can't keep. When they weigh your little kingdom against the bones beneath the floor, you will find my quiet hand writing on the back of every door. I'm the one who moves the burden when you think you played your part. I don't pull the trigger, brother, but I keep the balance in the dark. That last year they came in heavy, talked to losses, talked to war, dropped the ledger on the desktop, said they needed less than before. On that sheet your name and his name sat together side by side. I could tilt the tide to save you, let his wrist keep running wide. So I shifted just a fraction, signed the line and closed it up. Next week word came through a payphone. He went down, you just looked up. Now the docks are calm and quiet, and your suits hang straight and right, and you talk like you were born here at the ruling edge of night. If you dream of hands that grabbed you when the walls began to shake, know the spine that never trembled is the one I chose to break. Yeah, I keep the balance in the dark, where the numbers never sleep. Every street you walk in, comforts built on debts I had to keep. When they weigh your clean white collar against the hearts I let depart, you will hear a pen still scratching at the edges of your heart. I'm the one who fixed your future when the world was come apart. I don't swing the blade that finds you back, but I keep the balance in the dark.